In this particular story, we're going to talk about a mother, yet another mother, and boyfriend combo who are going to be held responsible for the death of two boys. Okay? Now here's the story. These two brothers right here are ages 5 and 6 years old, and they have been submerged in a pool for nearly 2 hours. Guys, 2 hours before a relative found them, not the mother, not the boyfriend, but a relative found them and began a futile attempt to revive the boys with CPR, the Broward County Sheriff's Office said 3 months after their drowning deaths. Now, an arrest warrant. This is the crazy part. As you guys can see, Wildline Joseph is the mother who looks like she has a Wildline haircut. Wildline really works out for her as far as her name and her face. She looks like a Wildline. But believe it or not, guys, you won't believe how old she actually is. So we'll come back to that here in a moment. But I want you guys to take a look at this face and tell me how old you think she is. And matter of fact, take a guess at the boyfriend's age. How old do y'all think they are? Because there's only 1 year that separates those two ages. How old do y'all think that they are? An arrest warrant has been issued for the boy's mother, Lynn Joseph, Wildline, and I know I probably didn't pronounce it right because y'all know I can't talk that well, whose whereabouts currently are unknown, and Vita Coleman Wright, a sheriff spokeswoman, said on Thursday. Now, charges have been filed against Joseph's Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put it out there because I almost read the age. Joseph's 24-year-old boyfriend, John Lewis Lynn Jr. So that makes her 23 years old. God, Florida must be a rough life to live out there. Guys, she is 23 years old. Barely in her 20s. Why does she look like she's like somebody's grandma up in this thing? I'm sorry, but she does. It could just be her face. I don't know why she has that face on her face. But yes, she is 23 years old with 2 kids. Matter of fact, I think she's got more than 2 kids. I'm going to read this story and tell y'all what happened. The boyfriend, again, 24-year-old John Lynn Jr. is charged with 2 counts of aggravated manslaughter of a child for the deaths of these kids. And I'm going to show you guys their photos so y'all can know who we're talking about. These 2 boys by the name of Bernario Minto, age 5. These names, man. And Jakai Joseph, who was 6 years old. Let me see if I can get their photos back up on the screen. Bernario was spelled Branario, Minto, Minto, and then Jakai is JA''Kye, Joseph, ages 5 and 6 respectively, in a North Lauderdale pool. Court records show. For the people that always ask, where does Just Jay get his information from? I get it from the courts. I get it from the police. I get it from the news. Same place they get it from. Now, Lynn of Tamarack, Tamarack, or Tamarac, however you pronounce that, was arrested Tuesday and is being held on bonds in plural, totaling $500,000 for the manslaughter charges, but is being held without bond because of unrelated charges that he's facing. So that means that he was probably already involved in something going on, okay? Now, detectives say that John Lynn failed to provide proper care and supervision for the brothers, which made him responsible for their deaths, Coleman Wright said. Now, here's the story. At about 9:30 p.m., May 22nd, family members found Bernario and Jakai submerged in the community pool at the Silver Palms condominiums at 1200 Southwest 52nd Avenue. They pulled the unresponsive boys from the water and began CPR and called 911. Okay? Now, there's going to be a crazy story behind who's actually responsible here. Okay? Now, North Lauderdale Fire Rescue took the brothers to Northwest Medical Center in Margate, where they were pronounced dead. Detectives believe that the boys may have climbed over the fence to reach the pool in the apartment complex south of West Atlantic Boulevard between South State Road 7 and Florida's Turnpike. Investigators said surveillance video shows the victims undersupervised. I'm going to read that part again. Investigators said surveillance video, so they caught this on camera, showed the victims unsupervised and running to the pool area at approximately 7:16 p.m., the sheriff's office said. Okay? Video surveillance showed the boys leaving the apartment area and running toward the pool, deputies said. The 6-year-old, the older one, jumped into the deep end, but drowned because he could not swim. His 5-year-old brother tried to save him, but he went under and he drowned as well, authorities said. Damn, that's sad. According to the probable cause statement, their grandmother found them just over 2 hours later. Not even the mom or the boyfriend, okay? The 911 call came in at around 9:33 p.m., Coleman Wright said. Lynn is not the biological father of either of the boys. But are any of you surprised by that? No, you're not. You're not surprised by that because y'all know that's what we talk about here on this channel all the time. These mothers having babies and then turn it around and we're not going to have relationships with the men that you laid down with and had these kids by. You're not going to have a relationship with them. But you're going to turn around and have a relationship with a man who has a criminal record. Right? That is the narrative of the black community as a whole. Right? Lynn is not the biological father of either boy, but was living with their mother at the time. So he moved in with her. Why? Because, of course, she gets housing, she gets food stamps, she gets child support, she gets all of the benefits. And what is that called? Having babies for benefits. Hashtag babies for benefits. So let's move on. Lynn and Joseph are the parents of at least one, Lynn and Joseph are the parents of at least one of 2 other children who were also living in the home, investigators said. So she had more than just these 2 boys. It's unclear where Joseph was while her sons were drowning. If I were there, I could have saved them, she told reporters at the time. Now, Joseph allegedly insisted to investigators that she was sleeping at the time of the incident and that her 64-year-old mother, who was the grandmother, and the children's great-grandmother had been watching the sons. Again, pointing blame at someone else. Authorities said, however, her cell phone records showed that her phone was used to search and text during the time period in which she claimed to have been sleeping. I know I don't speak very clearly, but I'm going to read that part again because this is yet another story. The last 2 or 3 or 4 nights, all of these stories have involved these mothers lying. So once you tell one lie, once you tell another lie, then how can we believe anything that you're saying? That's the trend. Everybody catch that? J-Day donated in the super chat and said, what's up, Jay? What's up to you, J-Day? I like that name. Yet another mother is found to be lying. I'm sorry, but when your kids are in danger and you start lying, then to me, it makes me question everything that you say. How many of you people can agree with that? I can't believe anything that you say if we find out by way of forensic evidence, searching your text messages, that you are lying. I'm actually doing pretty well tonight. I appreciate you guys asking how I'm doing. So I am actually doing well. I hope you guys are doing well. I know y'all worry about me sometimes as far as how I am emotionally with doing all of these stories. And I'm going to tell you guys, it takes a lot of my energy to try to muster myself up and get my day going, knowing that a lot of these stories weigh very heavy on my heart. I do it with a smile, but on the inside, it's very difficult to try to continue to keep educating us about these things that are going on and trying to give us ways to prevent these type of tragedies, okay? Now, she pointed blame at the grandmother, but then they searched her cell phone records and found that she was using text and she searched on her phone during the time period which she claimed she was asleep. So that means she wasn't asleep. That means she was lying. Now, Lynn Jr. also allegedly told investigators a story that was inconsistent with the evidence. So they found out that he was lying also. He said that he had been watching TV the night of the drowning and said that the boys were playing with a tablet at the apartment doorway, which we found out that was a lie. Let me see. I think you say your name, Ari Shai. Ari Shai. I kind of like that name. She said, thank you for keeping us informed and sent $2.99 by way of the super chat. So my sister, prayer hands up. Thank you very much for donating it. Thank y'all for at least appreciating what I'm trying to convey. Because I know a lot of times it seems like I just hate on our people. No, I hate the negativity that our people do. And I hate the negativity that is associated with our people. We have this stigma in the black community that we're irresponsible. We claim to be smart, but we make the dumbest decisions possible, especially when it comes to our kids and how we raise them and how we protect them. And that narrative has got to change. I don't care how people portray us in the news, because it's kind of hard to portray us as bad parents if we're doing the right thing. If we're having nuclear families, which is mothers and fathers in the household, we're not just randomly having a bunch of kids outside of wedlock, randomly having a bunch of dudes, kids that are at the club all the damn time, and having a bunch of kids by dudes that are not going to be there to raise these kids. The reason why the onus must be put on the mothers more so than the fathers is because the mothers have every opportunity to prevent pregnancy before, during, and after. Before, during, and after. Her body, her choice. So that also means it is her responsibility. It's a great thing to say your body, your choice, but it also comes with a heavy price tag. That price tag should be responsibility. If you're not willing to pay that price, the price of responsibility, then I don't think that you should have those kind of choices. To me, that's a simple thing. I don't know why people continue to fight and argue with me and tell me that my views are wrong when no, my views are rooted in truth and logic. By the way, shout out to my brother Tommy Sotomayor, who came out with a movie called A Fatherless America. This is the narrative that we continue to see, is that these boys are suffering at the hands of people who do not care about them. This mother did not care. She did not allow the father of these kids to care. And then she turned around and produced more kids. What to do? Who wasn't these kids' father. And he has a criminal record. How about that? I mean, we just hitting all the marks today, boy. Here, man, let's keep going. Let's keep going. He said he was watching TV, but however, the children were outside playing unsupervised because they caught it on camera, okay? So that means he lied about his account of what went on. So Lynn Jr. is also charged with 2 counts of manslaughter of a child, and records do not name an attorney for either defendant. Now here's the thing. The family has a history with the child welfare system. The family has a history with the child welfare system. I know none of you guys are surprised by that. The Broward Sheriff's Office Child Protective Investigation Section. That's a long title. Broward Sheriff's Office Child Protection Investigations Section removed the brothers' 4-month-old and 1-year-old siblings from their home in May as part of an investigation. Got about 200 people. Click that thumbs up if y'all heard what I just said. They did an investigation and took a 4-month-old baby and a 1-year-old out of her home due to an investigation by way of Child Protective Services in May, June, July, August, September. Only 4 months ago. 4 months ago. And they also said that anyone who knows Joseph's whereabouts is urged to contact the Sheriff's Regional Communications Division. They left a phone number, but I think that she is in custody. Let's go ahead and show you guys the fair usage and get this video started. And I'll show you guys what they said in the news. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Y'all see how that works when y'all click the thumbs up. More people come in, so just continue to make that a habit. Just click that thumbs up when you come in. Let's go ahead and get these news videos started.
And this morning, heartbreak in North Lauderdale after 2 children are pulled from a pool. Those 2 children were given CPR, but sadly, we're now just learning they did not make it.
CBS 4's Riel Crane just spoke with their mother and joins us live with more. Riel.
Oh, Lauren and Maribel, just an incredible tragedy here. Their mother confirming to us just a moment ago that both of her children did indeed pass away. They drowned in this pool at this apartment complex last night. She was here about an hour ago in front of this pool. I will tell you, this was so incredibly difficult to watch as she wailed out here saying that she was sorry, that she should have been here. She didn't get here fast enough and that she was sleeping. Her children, she said, were out here playing last she knew. We just talked to her moments ago. Take a listen.
That's her.
Understand I wasn't there to save them, but they're in a better place now.
Woo! God dog, what is wrong with this picture? First and foremost, she looks like she's like the great grandmother of these kids. She don't look like she's 23 years old. I'm sorry, she don't. Let's back this up a little bit and watch her walk in. Let's look at this.
Didn't get here fast enough and that she was sleeping. Her children, she said, were out here playing last she knew. We just talked to her moments ago. Take a listen.
She does not look like she's 20. Y'all tell me, I could be wrong. Does she look like she's 23 years old and does she look sad? Let's look at this thing on her head again. This leopard print bull crap on her head.
Understand I wasn't there to save them, but they're in a better place now.
I hate, and hate is a very strong word, guys. I hate when we continue to use these type of terms. They're in a better place. What is a better place supposed to mean? They're in a better place. I know what she's inferring, but I hate when we continue to keep using these sayings that really don't apply. You really don't know. How do you know that these boys are in a better place? So she makes it seem like it's a good thing. Well, they're in a better place, so it is what it is. She's not crying. And she's got this bullcrap on her head. And I'm sorry, I'm going to continue to keep telling you, sisters, y'all look ridiculous when I see y'all in public. If you've got this bad crap on your head, take it off of your head before you go outside. What this signifies is that, well, I don't look appropriate to be in front of the camera. Well, guess what is actually a choice that you didn't have to make? You could have made a choice to not be on camera until you were ready to be on camera and do an interview, or am I wrong? Did she have to be in front of the camera at this moment unless you were prepared? I'm sorry, if you feel like you're not dressed appropriately, if all you got on is a t-shirt with your boobs hanging out and you got your hair bonnet on and you ain't got your right makeup on and all of this stuff, then just wait. I can guarantee you that all of those news stations out there in Florida will be happy to talk to you in a couple of hours, maybe the next day, maybe even a week later, right? And the fact that she's not showing any outward signs of trauma or sadness. No tears. But we got this crackling voice too, but you know what I'm saying? You can hear it in our voice. Like, I can talk like this and I can sound like I'm saying. But, yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, you know, I know the boys in a better place. It's not hard to make your voice sound cracked up. And Tommy talks about this a lot. We do this a lot of times in the black community when we act like we're sad, but we're really not sad.
I understand I wasn't there to save them, but they're in a better place now. That's all that matters. I always miss my babies, that's all. And I'm sorry, Jakai, I'm sorry, Benario. They're only 5 and they're only 6. And I lost my babies too early. Benario was supposed to graduate on the 28th, but it is what it is. I don't have nothing else to say.
Holy hell. Come on, who wants to defend that? She just said it is what it is. I'm going to rewind that and let y'all hear it again. She's wiping away her dry eyes and she said it is what it is. Let me ask you guys a question because I know what y'all going to say in my comment section after the video is over. So I'm going to ask it now. If your children died, would you say, well, they're in a better place, and would you say it is what it is? If those are your kids or your family members, kids, or somebody that you knew, would you say they're in a better place? It is what it is. Would those be your words? Would those be the sentiments that you let come out of your mouth? Let me let you hear it again. Maybe y'all didn't hear it. Sorry, I know y'all I almost cussed. I know y'all constantly want to defend y'all black queens, but I'm sorry, this is indefensible. I'm gonna let you hear it out of her own mouth.
That's all that matters. I always miss my babies, that's all. And I'm sorry, Jakai, I'm sorry, Benario. They're only 5 and they're only 6. And I lost my babies too early. Benario was supposed to graduate on the 28th, but it is what it is. I don't have nothing else to say.
She said it is what it is. Listen again. Maybe y'all didn't hear it.
But it is what it is. I don't graduate on the 28th, but it is what it is. I don't have.
We continue to keep using these stupid sayings. What did she say again? Let's let her hear it again because I don't want y'all to deny that y'all heard it. Let's run it back. Thank you, Natoya. And thank you to Skohar, who just donated, by the way. If y'all want to be awesome like Skohar, then y'all can donate a little something. Shout out to my guy, Skohar. Appreciate that, bro.
I was supposed to graduate on the 28th, but it is what it is. I was supposed to graduate on the 28th, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
I was supposed to graduate on the 28th, but it is what it is. I don't have nothing else to say.
This is the picture of her children that she showed us. She did tell us that their names are Jakai, Joseph, and Benario. She said the boys are just 5 and 6 years old. She did tell us that one of the boys was just learning how to swim, but he actually couldn't swim. She says she believes that one of the brothers jumped in to try to save the other. Live in North Lauderdale, Riel Creighton, CBS 4 This Morning.
Kids don't know any better. Not at 5 and 6 years old. Maybe I would have expected more out of kids that were older. I'm sorry. These are 5 and 6 year old kids. I would not expect them to really know any better. He saw his brother in trouble and he tried to jump in and help him. Got to supervise these kids. I don't really know what else to say about that. I'm not going to blame the kids. I'm blaming the parents. Let's move on.
Police are still investigating a double drowning tragedy. 2 brothers found dead at the bottom of a swimming pool in North Lauderdale. Their mother says the boys snuck out of their home and climbed a fence into a closed community pool at the Silver Palms condominiums last night. She says 5-year-old Benario and 6-year-old Jakai were taking lessons, but at least one still did not know how to swim.
They were taking swimming lessons, but hey, it is what it is. If you guys would, please click that thumbs up. Can we get 100 more thumbs up? 100 more people to click that thumbs up? We almost got 250 people in the building. If y'all would, please come click the thumbs up. It is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Tragedy. 2 brothers found dead at the bottom of a swimming pool in North Lauderdale. Their mother.
2 hours. I wouldn't let my kid be out of my sight at 5 and 6 years old for 2 minutes, let alone 2 hours. And I want y'all to keep in mind, she said she was asleep, but the text messages proved that she was on her phone and that she was awake. How many of you guys would not go check on your kids for 2 whole hours? And matter of fact, what's even funnier about that? It would have been longer than that if grandma hadn't have found them kids dead. You want to know what's even sadder than that? The fact that nobody was outside, looked into this pool and saw that these kids were dead when there are clearly walkways where people have to walk to their apartments. Matter of fact, you want to know what's even sadder than that? You can't tell me in Broward County, Florida, in this area, that nobody was out, headed home, pulling in something outside at this time of night between 7 and 9 p.m. I could expect this maybe 2, 3, 4 in the morning. Cleo, if you would, I see that you're typing that in the chat. If you would, you have to actually click one of the paid methods and actually make a payment from a debit or credit card. Don't just type the number in there. I've seen you do that a few times, and I know that you're supporting, and I'm just saying, like, just Cleo, please don't type the number of what you would like to donate. If you want to donate an amount, actually use your debit or credit card, and just anyway. But I try not to get frustrated. Okay, now, somebody had to have seen these kids. How many of y'all can agree with that? There's no way between 7 o'clock and 9 o'clock that nobody was out, especially in an apartment complex. Maybe you don't look at the bottom of the pool, but here's my thing. I do agree with you, GSD Mom. Maybe you don't look at the bottom of the pool, but wouldn't you have seen these kids out playing by themselves at 7 o'clock? I'm talking about before they drowned. Somebody had to have seen them before they drowned, while they were outside playing by themselves, and somebody had to have seen those 2 boys climb over the fence. I think somebody should have saw that. Now, if they didn't, then they didn't. It's still the mom's fault, though, regardless, right? That's all I was trying to clarify.
From a swimming pool in North Lauderdale. Their mother says the boys snuck out of their home and climbed a fence into a closed community pool at the Silver Palms condominiums last night. She says 5-year-old Bernario and 6-year-old Jakai were taking lessons, but at least one still did not know how to swim. They were both found lifeless at the bottom of the pool.
He thought he could swim, but he cannot swim. I always miss my babies, that's all.
Homicide detectives are asking anyone with information about the drownings to call police. Their siblings are now in the custody of Child Services as part of the investigation.
This morning, the mother of 2 boys who drowned in a North Lauderdale pool is waking up in jail. Lauderhill police arrested 23-year-old Wildline Joseph early yesterday in connection to her son's deaths. Detectives say on May 22nd, her 5- and 6-year-olds climbed a fence to get into the community pool, where they later drowned. Her arrest comes less than a week after her boyfriend was also arrested. She and 24-year-old John Lynn are facing the same charges, 2 counts of aggravated manslaughter.
Watch this.
Her son's drowned in a community pool. A Broward County mother learned she's in jeopardy of losing her other 2 children.
Want y'all to hear this again. Who's in charge of naming these kids? AP, you know who's responsible. It's the same person that says it's my body, my choice, and it's my choice to give these kids these names. I keep telling you guys, we're not doing our kids any services. We're doing them a huge disservice by giving them names that nobody can pronounce. It automatically singles us out to let everybody know that we from the hood and we got these hood unique names, and I don't think it's a good thing. It does us more harm than good to keep giving these wild names that make us stand out from the rest of society, knowing that we already have a bad stigma attached to ourselves.
Her son's drowned in a community pool. A Broward County mother learned.
I just thought about that. Thank you, Natoya, for catching that. Will Dean, thank you, Skull. I don't know what Will Dean. I don't even know of any old people. I have never met a woman, an elder woman by the name of Will Dean. Never ever have I met one or even heard of one by that name. Now, Natoya caught something that I forgot about. She's 23 years old with 4 kids. So if her oldest is 6 years old, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17. So she potentially was getting pregnant by the time she was 16 years old. Great catch, Natoya. That's why the chat is here. That's a great catch. So, what was her mom doing allowing her to have sex at 16 years old, which means that she should have been living at her mom's house at 16, at least until about 18, at least until she graduates. She probably did it because she was probably also benefiting from her living under her roof and only collecting the benefits from her, didn't care what she was doing. Then she went and had a baby of her own. That way she could start collecting the benefits from these kids that she had. 16 years old. Then she had another one right after that, a year right after that. Then her other two kids, who are ages, let me see if I can find them again. Took them out of her custody. Where's it at? Four months old and then 1 year old. God dog, boy. Whoo. Man.
Her son's drowned in a community pool. A Broward County mother learned she's in jeopardy of losing her other two children. CBS 4 Ted Scouten is live outside the Broward County Courthouse with more on this tragic story.
No, they didn't freeze. They drowned. I saw you type that earlier. Maybe I didn't catch your question. Sorry about that, Giselle. No, they did not freeze. They drowned in a pool. Keep in mind, this is Florida, and keep in mind, this is summertime. The ages of the two youngest kids are 4 months old and 1 year old. Excuse me. So Cynthia, altogether, she had a 6-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 1 year old, and a 4-month-old at 23 years old.
Ted.
Yeah, Jim, today we learned that state officials may move forward with plans to terminate parental rights for those two children. This comes as child protection officials are working to try and temporarily place those kids. Family consoling Will Dean Joseph outside the...
Okay, some of y'all are missing, and I know some of y'all are coming in kind of late. Dark Horse, yes, there is video footage. That's how they actually found out that the mom was lying. So if nobody else heard that, then I'll address that because Dark Horse actually asked the question. They saw it on video surveillance. They waited, and the mom gave her account of what happened, said she was asleep. Then the boyfriend gave his account, and he said the kids were only on the front porch. They went back and watched the videotape of their surveillance in the area and found out that they were both lying about what they were doing at the time and the fact that these boys were unsupervised that entire time.
Courtroom. Her 5- and 6-year-old sons drowned Wednesday night. Now she learned the state may try to permanently take away her two remaining children. One is 4 months old, the other is 1.
The department wants to put everyone on notice that we will be stacking this case for a possible termination of parental rights.
And there was another loss in court when the judge ordered those two children remain in state custody instead of being placed with a relative.
So they're going to leave those kids in state custody rather than placing them with family. And to be honest with you, I can't blame them. How can you trust the family whenever these type of people make these stupid choices? Thank you, Dark Horse, for the $2 super chat. Appreciate that. Let me also say thank you again to Skohar, Last Chance, and this one came in from, let me make sure, from Ruya. Ruya said, thank you so kindly for all the time and effort that you put into helping the children. You're truly an amazing man. Always grateful to you. Ruya Morrigan in the chat. That's an awesome message. And that's not even Ruya's first time donating. So thank you very much. I told y'all if y'all donate inside of PayPal or Cash App, I'll see it right away. So thank you. Not only is that a kind message, but thank you for also contributing to the platform. Let's keep going.
The department wants to put everyone on notice that we will be stacking this case for a possible termination of parental rights.
And there was another loss in court when the judge ordered those two children remain in state custody instead of being placed with a relative. He needed more information about the home and child care.
I'm not comfortable with living arrangements as well, so your request right now did not.
He said he's not comfortable with their living arrangements at the time, so the request is denied. And he's talking about family members who tried to take on the 1-year-old and the 4-month-old. And to be honest, I think that's a responsible thing of the judge to say, you got to prove to me that you can take care of these kids and have suitable living arrangements for them. Straight up, straight up.
Information about the home and child care.
I'm not comfortable with living arrangements as well, so your request right now did not.
Why is she out yelling like this? Some of y'all are going to say this is mental illness, and I agree. So if it's mental illness, then the people who have mental illness should not be allowed to care for children. I want to make sure that I speak into this mic nice and clear so y'all can hear every word that I just said. Y'all are going to say that she has mental illness, and I agree. But if she has mental illness, then she should not be allowed to care for children. She should not be allowed to produce children. And anybody who has mental illness should not be allowed to be parents. You know why? Because they're going to turn around and that mental illness is going to harm the children. You got to remember, don't get mad at me. We have to do what's best for the children first. Children first.
Living arrangements as well, so your request right now did not.
You could actually look at the AFC if you say CFA, Children First Association, Advocates for Children, or Children First Association. We actually kind of have two meanings to our name. How about that? Let me say thank you to Chris S, who just donated in the Cash App. So Chris, I just got your donation. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
The home and child care.
I'm not comfortable with living arrangements as well, so your request right now did not.
Let me see. Having a mental illness doesn't preclude you from being a good parent. Actually, it does. Athena, it actually does. Want me to tell you why? Because every time that these children are neglected, killed, starved, beaten, shot, stabbed, all of these horrible things that these people with mental illness do, there have even been situations where these people with mental illness have ran over the children with their vehicles, used them as human speed bumps, and ran them over. And you know what they say? Well, it's just mental illness. Well, if it's that much rampant mental illness going on, then it needs to stop. They cannot be parents. If they can't properly take care of themselves and they need medication, then what makes you think that they can be proper parents? They're clearly not making proper decisions. 2 kids are dead because of her bad choices. We cannot allow people who make these kind of bad choices to continue to be parents of children who need responsible parents.
As well, so your request right now did not.
Wednesday night, Joseph's son's 6-year-old Jakai.
You know why she doing all of that? Because she saw the camera. That's it. She's only doing that because she saw the camera. She could just be dumb. She could just be flat out dumb. I want y'all to think about this. Is she doing all of that yelling, talking to the person that's standing right next to her? Therefore, if she was, then why is she yelling at him like that? which I believe that she's only doing that because she saw somebody with a camera and started yelling. So why is she yelling all of this unintelligible that we cannot hear clearly? Why is she doing all of that yelling? For what? Drawing a scene for what?
Information about the home and child care.
I'm not comfortable with living arrangements as well, so your request right now did not.
I agree. Miss Mom's Fur Baby said, I think she's just plain old negligent. I'm sorry, I can't rock with the mental illness. She isn't mental when she goes and gets her public assistance. I agree. So let me make it clear that I'm not saying she has mental illness. What I'm saying is that most people will say that she has a mental illness based on her actions. Me personally, that's why I've always said that if you're going to be a parent, then you should not have any excuses. Postpartum depression being one of them, being used as an excuse that kill children. The other, mental illness. Those are two of the biggest excuses, because it is. Those are two excuses that they use to say, well, this is why these children were killed by the parent. That's literally what happens. All I'm saying is that if we know that these people supposedly have issues beforehand, then we need to prevent them from being parents. Me personally, I just think this broad is dumb. I don't think there's a mental illness. I think she is just a bad person that makes bad decisions and lazy. Living off of assistance and won't do her damn hair. Lazy.
Wednesday night, Joe.
This is not funny, but it is funny because it's dumb. It's just stupid.
Wednesday night.
I don't even know what to say, man. I don't.
Wednesday night, Joseph's sons, 6-year-old Jakai and 5-year-old Bernario, drowned in the pool at their North Lauderdale condo complex.
I have on headphones, guys, and I can't even hear. I can't even understand what she's saying. I cannot make out a word that she said. I have on headphones. I have on Beats Studio headphones. And I cannot understand a word that she said.
This is Jakai. That's Benario. I'm sorry. I didn't get to save you. I'm so sorry. If I was there, I could have saved them.
Joseph said she thought the two were outside playing. Instead, investigators believe they may have climbed over the gate and gotten into the pool. One of the boys was just learning to swim.
He thought he could swim, but he cannot swim. And I think the brother tried to help him, so he jumped into.
The same night, Child Protective officers took her two other children. DCF tells us the family has a history with the child welfare system, and they're conducting an investigation.
I want you guys to keep in mind that she has a history. Does the word history mean anything to anybody? History. Pro-Blacks are always telling us we need to know about our history, right? Well, guess what this woman has? A history with Child Protective Services. Therefore, that tells you a lot about how bad of a parent she is. Boom.
The same night, Child Protective officers took her two other children. DCF tells us the family has a history with the child welfare system, and they're conducting an investigation. For now, Joseph mourns her boys who drowned and wonders what will happen to the other two.
They're in a better place now. That's all that matters.
That's not all that matters. They're in a better place. They're in a better place. Man, black people in these colloquialisms, we kill them. We kill it. We ruin everything, man. We really do. As a people, we do. We ruin a lot of things.
I always miss my babies, that's all.
Thank you, Original Trucker Gaming said, that's a pattern. That's my point. Dark Horse said, repeat offenders. Exactly. Exactly. The word history means nothing to CPS. It should, though. And I think in this case, because what Miss June Bennett is saying is she's looked at all of the cases and all of the stories that we've done. And apparently the history of these bad parents doesn't matter because they don't enforce the law the way that they should. If the judge gets this right, she should never be allowed to see her kids again. She should do a lot of jail time, as well as the boyfriend, for them being negligent in their parts and lying. They should never get a second opportunity to be parents once you've caused the death of children.
And the mother and children's father are due back in court next month. That's when a judge will have to decide if their parental rights will permanently be taken away. Live in Fort Lauderdale, Ted Scout, CBS 4 News.
I agree, and they should be taken permanently. So here's how I want to close this thing out. Again, I want to thank you guys for coming through. That's pretty much the end of our stream, but I've said what all I need to say as far as my thoughts. I think that they were both irresponsible. They already had a history with CPS, and I think that that is going to prove to be a detriment to the other two kids. So I'm glad that they took them out of the custody. I'm also proud that the judge said, y'all are going to have, as far as the family members, y'all are going to have to prove to me, as far as being the judge, that y'all have a suitable home for these 1-year-old and 4-month-old kids to live in. I agree with that. Don't just keep dumping the kids off just because that's an easy thing to do. It's a cop-out, and it's dangerous to these kids. And if we care about these kids, then we have to start doing better by them. Okay? Now, as far as drowning, there's only so much you could do but try to teach your kids how to swim. It's an important thing. With them being 5 and 6 years old, I know at 5 and 6 years old, I was able to swim, but I have to thank not only my parents, but my auntie, and she knows who she is. My auntie actually, her husband was a manager of a local pool back in Oklahoma, and they used to take us as often as we wanted to go, especially during the summertime, and taught us to swim. We learned to swim in the public pools. We even learned at I think at what's the name of that? OCU, if I'm not mistaken. UCO, excuse me. They had a big, huge pool at UCO College. And this was like an Olympic-sized pool. It was huge, and it was scary jumping in that thing, because when you jump in that thing, you don't feel the bottom at all. You gotta sink, or you gotta swim, or you're gonna sink. It was huge, and it was scary, but I'm very thankful, because anytime that I've ever been in a pool or a lake or anything like that, I've always been able to take care of myself, and I've always been able to swim. It's an important thing. If you don't know how to swim, you might want to learn. Said you learned at the YMCA. It's important. Where was the lifeguard? The pool was closed. So Samia or Samaya, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, but the pool was closed at the time. These boys jumped over the fence at 5 and 6 years old, and one hopped in the pool and drowned, and then the other one tried to save him, hopped in the pool and drowned. They've got it to where they're teaching newborn babies how to not drown. Not necessarily how to swim, but how to not drown. They're teaching these babies. I'm seeing, I don't know if black people are doing this, but I know white people are doing this. It's an important thing to teach your kids how to swim, but I'm watching them teach newborn babies how to save themselves and not drown in a pool by simply learning how to flip over and float on their back. Right? That should be a cautionary tale to show us how important it is for all of these drowning stories that we continue to keep producing, that we have to do better with regard to teaching our kids water safety, learn how to swim or learn how to not drown. Okay. But Again, this is sad with these boys. I want to respect their names. Bernario Minto was only 5 years old. That was the smaller boy. And Jakai Joseph was 6 years old. He was the first person that jumped in the pool. But there is no excuse, and I repeat, there is no excuse for negligence on the parents' part, and you should absolutely be slapped in your mouth in the court of law, legally, and be made to do time for lying. You can be sad about your kids all you want to. You can love your kids all you want to. You can fear the consequences all you want to. But in my opinion, as a parent, if I am negligent in my duties as being a parent, me being a responsible parent, I'm going to say, give me whatever you need to give me, and I'm going to do my time. Straight up. I'm not going to lie about it. I'm not going to front about it. As a responsible parent, I'm going to take it on the chin. That's the least you can do for not doing everything that you could to make sure that your child, your legacy, had an opportunity to be on this earth. Be nourished, be protected, and be watched over. There is no excuse for negligence. I'm going to wrap it up right there. You guys have heard me say enough, okay? This is your boy DJ Just Jay. The AFC stands for Advocates for Children First, or if you flip it around, you can say the Children First Association. However you want to say it. R.I.P. young men, Bernario and Jakai. R.I.P. That's a beautiful photo that I have found of them on Facebook. So I want to say thank you to whoever created that for those young boys, okay? R.I.P. Young Kings. You guys have a great night, man. Thank you guys so much for listening. This is your boy DJ Just Jay, and we're signing off, man. Thank you guys so much.